Yes.
yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, but he didn't use an aggregator, this person. And this is strange. For me, this is a sign that this guy or the person or doesn't know. It's like an outsider, maybe.
Maybe. And it seems that some of the volume came from Binance as well.
Okay. From Binance.
Yeah, I'm saying this convex volume yesterday.
Is convex on Binance listed?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's also bots, then bots jumping. I don't know. Sometimes.
Yeah, that could easily just be like LPs hedging, but never know. You know what I mean? Like big market makers are in pools and they'd hedge stuff on centralized exchanges if they get listed on the pools.
Okay.
Yeah, because the price gets all out of whack in the curve pools, like if someone lifts a lot of it. So there's a lot of arbitrage to be done there.
Okay. Yeah. How many? Okay, quite some people. Okay. Yeah, I guess I kick it off then. I look at my notes. So today we may have a short presentation of Ruby. Ruby's presenting I think convex frags, yeah, basically. And this is quite interesting because it's like the new branch of convex, basically. And tomorrow we will have an Aldin talk 1 hour earlier than today. And Aldin talk is about, it's more an open discussion. And I got like Garrett from Curve Market Cap joining. He's one of he's also be on Bankless. And he makes this newsletter. He's joining, and then another guy who's more on the little side, the Twitter guy is joining, and Difadet will host it, and I will be co-host, and it will be a Twitter space. You can find the link on Twitter of Aldin DAO. So it is interesting to see Frags because it's close to now Convex going also to be involved with Frags basically. Then this is tomorrow at 1 hour earlier than today. Join us if you're interested into this. Then we're going to launch a new product next week, and this Aldin talk Twitter space also, because we're going to make a curve product basically for a convex product, and Sherlin can add some details now. Yeah, maybe do it now, please.
Yeah, so we actually mentioned this briefly on last research call. We have created a new product called concentrator. So concentrator basically helps convex and curve maxi to earn more CRV and CVX. And this is very much in line with Aladdin DAO's long-only philosophy. So the mechanic is just, the product harvest rewards from convex votes and the reinvest and auto compounds in convex CRV staking pool. So concentrator boosts convex vote APYs by the CRV staking rate. Currently is over 40%. So this product has been really inspired by the discussions with Boule Council about convex. So we have had multiple Boule members propose a number of convex strategies, right? We had convex strategy twice from Jeff Xie, and we also had it from Chris Murray and Nick Pai. And we're going to have it again from Ruby today. So we have iterated on top of them and added the compounding feature to maximize yields for convex and curve farmers. So this product, we take it as important experiment, because it not only helps us to create more revenue for Aladdin DAO, and that also provides technical value add for Aladdin curve and convex communities. So we're just super focused working on this right now. We're getting security audits done this week and aim to get this to the market next week. And
Yeah.
and we're going to have this Aladdin talk session with the opinion leaders are from Convex and Curve community tomorrow, along with Martin and DeFi. So please join us if you can.
Okay, thanks. So a few all notes, then we kick it off with Ruby and Frags. So we have started a new round voting for the Boule members who contribute most to the community building process. So make sure going to vote. It's on Snapshot. Then today it's like the last day of this intermediate season where we did like Boule members presented dedicated strategies for us. And now we will have a big vote about this. So in the background, we are collecting all the strategies who have been proposed. And then we are going to have a vote next week on all of them in one go. And we are sending, we make like a draft and then we send it to the Boule members and they have to give us feedback and then we're going to vote. So if the strategy is voted in, then if the proposed, you will get 100K ALD as reward like immediately. And yeah, we see how this works. So we will have a vote for this. And also in this vote, as we said, we have like to stake it up, your yes vote, you have to stake it up with ALD in the background. And we will see how this changed the voting. Yeah, because now then people have skin in the game. So because this is the last research call in this cycle or season, but in the next week we will have we have 4 candidates who want to join the Boule Council, and they will present themselves in the next call next week, and they will present a project and themselves. And we have 3 of them. We have Mr. Mesa, who is already known, well known. Then we have the Vonach, the youngers, and we have Derek, who is like he did always write the notes of the calls, and he's also now he does work for other yeah, I don't have the name present, sorry. And he wants to be a candidate too, so he's presenting himself, and yeah, that's it from my side. So I'm kicking it off. So Ruby, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Yeah, guys, yeah, as mentioned before, we are going to build a long only like mining pools. So I'm today sharing something about Frags. I think the majority of the people might know a little about it. So I'll go quickly to go through what is mechanism of Frags, and they recently launched the VFX model and how it is integrated with Convex now, and what is our like optimal mining strategy would like to be given the current product and market situation. So here is some facts about Frags. Frags is one of the algo stablecoin supported partial collateral. When it's beginning, it only started with fully USDC, and later on, they leveraged their governance token Frags to absorb the volatility of the FXS. Sorry, it's the so they leverage their governance token FXS to absorb the volatility of Frags to make it peg with the US dollar 1-to-1, and basically they as most of the algo stable coins, they incentivize arbitrageurs to buy and sell Frags when they off peg, and the whole process is engaged with the burning or mint or like what we could say mint of their governance token FXS, and they apply for the algorithm to adjust the collateral ratio along with the time, which in every hour that Frags is above its peg, the collateral ratio will decrease by 0.25%, and vice versa. So to adjust the underlying vaults to go from 100% USDC to partially collateralized. So currently, it is the third largest algo stablecoin in the market, only after DAI and Terra and UST. And also, if we look into the data for the price of Frags, it's been performing really well. It's maybe the best that keep peg with the US dollar. And since this beginning, Frags has been very closely working with the convex and the curve ecosystem. It used to be one of the first DAOs that begin acquiring CVX token, which is a governance token of convex, and the VE-CRV voting rights. So leveraging this, Frags actually enable itself to maintain a really large portion in the curve emission, and thus enable a really good performance of this pool on curve to incentivize its users. And they recently applied the VE model, which launched the VEFXS vote on the gauges that dedicate the FXS emotions paid out to the various trading pools on the DEX, including like the Uniswap version 3 pools, AMP stable pools, the Gelato Uniswap pools, and the SushiSwap pools. Previously, there are emissions in FXS giving to this pools to incentivize the liquidity of Frags was various like stablecoin in the market. And also, there's a new like VEFX pools is open on convex, which on one hand enable convex to attract a lot of like FX as governance tokens to gain the voting rights of the governance rights on the Frags protocol, and to enable convex to further enhance its position to hold the like the voting bright markets. And that's why I think there might be a good yield strategy for the Aladdin community, because we think first Frags has a really good fundamental background, given the pretty steady increase of the ecosystem. It engaged with not only the Ethereum ecosystem, but a lot of other DeFi ecosystem, including Phantom, including Avalanche, and also FX Frags. The volume of Frags is performing really good. The peg of Frags is really good. Recently, they launched the governance mechanism, and they airdropped the FPI token, and there's about a new swap is going to launch on Frags ecosystem as well. So it's a lot of new products and new things happening in this ecosystem, which supports us to be long-term bullish for Frags. And if we want to be aggressive, we can accumulate the government's token directly from the market, and it captures upside growth of the ecosystem. And we can also stake them into the convex to gain the yield of CVX access, which currently gives us about 50% of the yield in both CVX and FXS. If we want to be conservative, we can also leverage a stable coin strategy, which that we can directly deposit Frags, because it's performing really good and it's pegged very stable with US dollar in the past years. So we can leverage, we can redeem this as a stable coin like strategy, and we can deposit Frags into convex. And currently it's generating about 7% something the yield. We can use the yield to buy the governance token and deposit it into the CVX FX vault to gain the long-term upside growth of the ecosystem. Yeah, Martin, that's all about the strategy.
Yeah, thank you. There are some parts of Frags which I honestly don't understand 100%. So maybe you can. And one thing is, so the gauge. This is new that they use this gauge system. This is
Yeah,
new.
yeah. This is
Okay.
I think they launched around, I cannot remember, but it's launched this year, sometime around early February or late January. I cannot remember the exact
Okay.
date. Yeah.
And before they did choose, governments did choose which pools get which amount of FS6 token per day, basically.
Can you repeat the question again? I didn't get it.
Before the governments did choose which pool gets
Incentive?
yeah, I guess I don't know.
They have a mechanism that distribute the incentive to various pools, but this would not like what is happening like curve wars that incentive people to log up the governance token in longer term to earn the more weight in the governance votes.
Okay. Yeah, but what I don't, yeah, maybe I was asked because tomorrow we have to talk about the same stuff. But I don't understand in the convex part is that, so if you hold all old convex, you know, I assume you have convex, then you get also voting rights in the in FSX in the future, or is it like?
Yeah, it's comics is similar as what they do was like a curve before they launched the FXS pool. So comics used to incentive people to put into curve so that they can boost it with a curve in comics protocol to support people with generating more yield. So similar here. So people put the governance token of FXS into convex. At the one hand, they can still gain the what we call the normal incentive from VEFXS, which is around 7% something, I think, from Frags protocol right now. And on the other hand, it is basically meaning that people are delegating the governance rights to the convex protocol so that they can
Exactly.
yeah
I got that, but what I'm surprised is that if you bought, like I have convex, you know, I have quite some convex, and so this means I got, it's like a additional drop, you know, of influence I get because I bought like convex in the past, so now I also get the same in the Frags ecosystem, I guess. I'm not sure.
I did.
So it's a little bit like an airdrop basically, because I get influence over the Frags system.
Yes. So you,
By
as
only holding convex.
there will be that what like the bribery given to the FX voting holders if you is similar to it's just similar to what occurred before. So if you stake convex in and you get what the bribery airdrops from to the like VCLV holders, it's happening similar here in Frags ecosystem. So long term is also bullish for convex as well because they are gaining more governance rights across different protocols.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess this is what your question is.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting relation because I think Convex also buys FXS for their treasury. And then there was this run up of FXS accumulation because of the FPI drop. So all of the Convex CVX FXS got the heaviest weight for the FPI drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, without FPI drop, we're seriously wrong because if you swap FX to CVX FX, there's a 30% in premium. So if there's no FPI airdrops, it's totally pointless because the price will not peg in the beginning, just as a CVX CRV.
Yes, but I think the price gap is closing recently on the curve.
Yeah, definitely.
It's only 2% or 3% now today. I checked today. I missed it. The opportunity. Yeah, it has been 15 or even more, but now it's like close to 3 or percentage. Okay, are there any other questions or ideas? Yeah, I think it's very, very, very valid. You know, the thing is, this is maybe some more history talk. You know, at the beginning, Maker had the idea they didn't want to make a stablecoin back to the USD. At the start, the idea has been that they want to use a basket of different stablecoins or currency. Basically, you know, this like Banco, as he called, it's like a basket of currency who is like who makes like a more stable currency than a single currency, basically. And Maker had the idea to use this, and then they shifted somehow to the USD because they did see that if you use like Banco, who is like it's also established, but it's a basket, and the basket is somehow defined. I don't know who defines this basket. And there was a big topic that the Chinese yuan was like coming into this basket, I don't know, years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago. Maybe Charlene knows more about this. And now with the inflation hitting, I think that it's very interesting that Frags is going to use a basket, like a inflation adjusted stablecoin, what they're going to do, you know, with this airdrop, basically. So they have like two stablecoins, the US dollar backed stablecoin, but they're doing a new stablecoin, and this stablecoin is they're using a price feed, and it's like a consumer adjusted, I don't know, consumer. It's a US consumer adjusted price who should if prices go higher, then it should adjust themselves. So it's like it shouldn't have inflation, basically. And I think it's an interesting concept. Maybe it wouldn't work like years ago. It wouldn't work because there was like no inflation or almost none. But now, if inflation hits and people really see that inflation is there, I think it has additional value, because why should you hold an USDC who is losing all the time value if you can hold like a inflation adjusted stablecoin like Frags is going to do? And this is we will see how this plays out. I guess this is like more in the long run interesting. And
hey, Mark.
in this pardon, yeah.
Oh, just I had a question. I was like looking up the dashboard for Frax and just making sure I understand this. So Frax itself has a market cap of around 2.9 billion. That's accurate, right? It's much larger than I realized that Frax had like actually grown that much. Because I know like a lot of eyes have been on UST with Terra, like it's just grown so much. But Frax, I didn't realize it had gotten to almost 3 billion in terms of stablecoin liquidity. Is that correct? Am I?
I guess so, because in my opinion, Frags is playing the curve wars like the best. They are the best, basically, because they have a huge treasury in convex themselves, and they adding all the time, and this means they can incentivize their pools very much, because they can like steer the emission of the curve to their pools. So
yeah.
they
No,
know the game, basically, and I guess this is pulling them up like
Yeah, and
basically.
they've been very active in various like DeFi ecosystems. Even when going back to the old days, there's a lot of own folks. There's one called Temple DAO that attracted a lot of market attention back to then, and the minting currency was Frax only. And if you will look into the ecosystem of Avalanche and Phantom, we also have a lot of new farming tools. Actually, there's a lot of Frax pairs over there.
Yeah. No. Really, really interesting. I've always been a little behind on Frax, but one of the things that's compelling about it as a project is that it continues to build, and it every day it exists. You know, it makes it one of the few that has stuck around. There's a lot of over collateralized stable coins that are launching with forks of Liquidity and Maker code, they're all over like every chain right now. And then, I mean, even though it's not a copy paste, Hubble on Solana is kind of doing this same thing of like, you know, they're trying to launch a stable coin that is backed by like premier collateral. And I think it's really interesting because I think everyone remembers a few years ago, we were talking about how there were just countless centralized stable coins that were growing, you know, other than Tether and USDC. And it feels like now there were clearly a lot of builders who saw an opportunity, and now a lot of these have come to market. But Frax is yeah, it's one of the few that's stuck around. So I'm excited to learn from Martin tomorrow, also during the Aladdin Twitter Spaces, because this is part of what I think you're gonna be talking about with others there. So yeah.
And I just want to add one more point here about Frags. If we look into, so two smart things they're doing was with the asset right now is one is they're leveraging the USDC within their vault into some like yield strategies. So they are generating good profits there, what we call our good revenue from that part. Second, there are actually fees on minting and redeem Frax as well. So if we look into the revenue numbers of Frax protocols, looks really good as well.
Yeah, I was looking at there's a pie chart of the gauge relative weight on, if you go to dow.curve.fi, and yeah, no, it just kind of demonstrates everything that has been discussed here, that the gauge weight has been maximized towards one of the Frax pools. So that's cool. I'm curious if anyone has ever looked at has figured out, like, you know, the average time that an FXS holder, or the V version of it, how long folks have been in that. Because I think one of the things that's happened over the last year is, as attention shifted away from some of these DeFi mechanisms that were really interesting in 2020 and early 2021, I want to say that it will leave behind like the real, like, long-term loyal true believers in a protocol. And so, yeah, I think in terms of a stablecoin project, it's going to be next to impossible to grow if you don't have that sort of a baseline. And based on everything that I do know now about Frax, I've assumed that, like, they've sort of found that baseline, like, you know, while other projects have literally just completely died off. You know, UST has much bigger money in it with Terra. But I think if Frax can keep growing, it's at this point, it's like, you know, it's almost 25% of UST, and then I think DAI's near like 10 billion. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity here. So anyways, thanks for presenting on this. I definitely learned a lot here today from Sherilyn and you.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I today had it by incident. I did see, like, I ended in their own Discord. I don't know, some their own discussion. No, on Twitter exactly, and people complain about the price and still. And I guess we see that now. It's not to bash on, but you just see that there's like some renaissance of the more, I know, serious project, maybe. Yeah, maybe, you know, one who have like a rooted foundation in the past, and they really solve a problem basically somehow. Yeah, but I think it's normal that in this market condition people look for quality, and then if you find quality, then yeah, they shine basically at this moment. Yeah. So
I just want to add one more point on Frax and the convex model. So SVE is going mainstream with DeFi protocols, right? So convex model is likely to be populated as well, right? Just like Frax, what Frax is doing with convex. So, you know, this just what we are doing with concentrator, the new product, that's actually, it's not just standalone on Curve opportunity, right? I think that can be replicated over other top DeFi protocols over time as well, right? Just on the back of VE and the convex model.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'm a little behind on. Is that something anyone can talk more about right now? Like, I'm a little behind on that concentrator idea. I know it would like boost your ability to earn. I know it's with what Curve, like Curve the token or the CVX Curve, and possibly some other tokens. But yeah, is that something you guys can talk a little bit more about?
Yeah, sure. So we have actually created a new product called concentrator. So this product basically help convex and curve farmers to earn more CRV and CVX. And it just harvests the rewards from convex vaults and reinvest and auto compounds in convex CRV staking pool. So basically it enhances all these vault APYs by the CRV staking rate. And it's normally, in the range of 40 to 50%. So this is just like give, people in the convex and curve war a weapon to fight the war and just to earn more CRV and CVX. Because these two tokens are really become really, the most hardcore DeFi assets. And a lot of, not just the stablecoin, right? With Curve V2 coming, ramping up, I think a lot of the DAOs are actually accumulating convex as well, and the Curve. So we just help, people to do, regardless is, DAO treasury management, or whale, or retail, whoever wants to, earn more CRV and CVX, right? And I think this product just help them, right, to earn 40 to 50% more on whatever vaults they farm.
How can anything else you can like dumb down for me about that? Because so I was previously holding Curve, then I deposited that or minted CVX Curve, in case anyone is like unfamiliar with this, and because that's giving voting power to Convex, which many people, of course, are earning boosted rewards as a Curve LP there by just depositing the LP. This is something I've really enjoyed as someone I'm already long Curve, but I wasn't willing to lock up my Curve tokens for like 1 to 4 years or however many months. So the CVX Curve has been it was a huge windfall to me, and I think I've been earning consistently about like 50% just sitting on that CVX Curve. So how do you amplify that even further?
Right. So basically, when you actually farm the votes, regardless, it's the normal LP votes or the the CRV staking vote, right? And so you need to do this reinvestment yourself, right? Because you normally get a number of tokens, right? You get CRV, you get CVX, and if you farm the STETH vote, you get Lido. When you farm, the meme vote, you get Spell, right? You get a number of tokens, right?
I get this, Sherilyn. So you're auto compounding. Normally, I just did this the other day. I hadn't done this in like 6 months or something. Like, I had a bulk of rewards from an LP that I have on Convex. I also have the CVX Curve rewards from just staking, and they were just sitting there. Those could have been claimed and earned me more, but I wasn't going to do it because gas has been so high. So this is like, this allows you then to auto compound those rewards. Is that the gist of it?
Yeah. So if you do this auto compound yourself, right, it takes about 5 to 6 transactions, right?
Right.
Or a loop of these transactions. It costs you about 500 to 1,000 USD, depending on the gas. So we do that, for the community collectively just save everybody gas and also time. And,
that's
and
huge.
yeah, and everyone gets their yield enhanced by 40 to 50%.
Oh, we need to build that ASAP. That's all you need. There's so much demand. That's why I was excited. I remember when Bent Finance launched, and I don't know what's gone on since then, but just because of the anonymity of the team, and without much other sort of like credibility that you could like figure out based on even the anonymous founders. I mean, it to me was just too high a risk, and I'm not sure if Bent had what they've done since. They had an exploit at some point, but yeah, they saw quite a bit of like, they saw a ton of money deposit because everybody wants to continue to enhance those rewards through Curve and Convex. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm all for this. I'd like to build it by tomorrow if possible.
it's coming next week.
Yeah, it's coming next week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, don't give up your CRV and CVX, right? Because they are the kingmakers, right? We just help people to earn more of these two core assets.
Is that can I ask, is that audited code already, or will this
Yes,
be going? Okay.
it's audited. So everything we produce is audited.
Oh wow, I missed this. This is really good news.
Yeah, we have been, Sherlyn has been fast, or the technical side, they are very fast.
I need to shut up now and let other people talk, but every week I write 1 to 2 tutorials, and every week I find myself like, I'll be like looking at new protocols, I'm always looking for stable coin yield that's like low risk, easy to do, or something with a long-term asset like ETH, REP, Bitcoin, Sol, Luna, whatever you hold, being able to put that to work. And every week I find myself saying, why don't I just like write up about Convex again? Because it's just so brilliant the way it works. It's so simple and easy, and it's good for Curve, it's good for Convex, it's good for the whole community, building deep liquidity within Curve's AMM. So yeah, I'm all for this. I can't wait. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, because it's cheaper to incentivize liquidity through Convex and Curve than most of the projects do it themselves, right? That's why people play these bribery games, and we have another product coming in March as well. Basically, it's just automate the Convex locking, voting, right, and the reinvestment, compounding, and also and some lending services to help people to earn more CVX as well. And I have to thank all the Boule members who have been proposing these brilliant ideas around Convex, and we just have been iterated on top of these ideas and turn them into product.
Yeah, I think that like in light of the war that's going on, and hopefully that doesn't spread to other parts of the world, and just state of interest rates, the markets in general. I think focusing on anything that allows you to earn with those stable coin yields or like asset pools, this is going to be well received by the community. So yeah, I'm excited. So that's next week. Is there like a day set for the launch, or do we know that?
Yeah, we aim for Tuesday to Thursday.
Cool. Well, everyone here at least knows, they're like, I know DeFi did contribute anything to that conversation. So anyways, yeah, this is great, guys. Thanks so much. I'm excited. Wow. This is great news.
Thank you, DeFi, and and thank you, all the Boule members who have, been helping us to get here. We have really been inspired by these discussions and ideas from these research meetings.
Yeah, I guess maybe we I don't know, shall we close call or should we discuss further?
Any other projects that like that this was this was definitely a good use of time. Any other projects folks have run across? Like, I will say we talked quite a bit a few weeks ago about our fears about the UST peg.
I have a question for you, DeFi Dad, because you are you are like Fonondao, the Grid Plus thing.
Yes.
I think it's quite, I follow Grid Plus since almost the start, and I can see that you're like a steward or something, and I think it's a pretty interesting concept. Maybe I can. It's not. Yeah, maybe I can just give a short overview, or you can.
Yeah. So
it's very different, basically.
Yeah. I'll try to be really short with this. So it's the tagline is it's hardware secured off-chain crypto transactions. So the goal is to be I don't see this term get used often, but it's to be more of like a layer 0. And so the team at Grid Plus years ago was like 2017. It was really early on, and they had a bunch of really interesting ideas. One of which was to allow you to pay to like crowdsource electricity, and to basically be able to like resell it when you have excess electricity. And they did this in a market in Texas in the United States. Long story short, it was a really ambitious idea. They actually made a lot of progress with it and like created a thriving little market there. But they were fighting so much with regulators that they started working on a bunch of other ideas, and this was one of them. They created this Lattice One hardware wallet. I can attest it's a better wallet. It's more secure than a ledger. And it's just got all sorts of like really, really cool tech built into it. Like if you tried to take apart and like, basically, if you try to take apart the wallet, they have things in it that'll basically like kill the wallet, so that like someone couldn't, what do I want to say, reverse engineer your wallet and be able to like take advantage of someone who thinks they're using a secure hardware wallet, but actually it's been hacked by an engineer. So that then finally led to Phonon. So they built this incredible, if you go to, I think it's gridplus.io, their hardware wallet was a flagship project. And then they wanted to enable these off-chain hardware secured transactions. So it's really trying to offer fast and free transactions that are going to be as secure as anything in the crypto space. So anyways,
it's interesting. Maybe I can add a few words, because what they're doing, they if you have the thing is, the idea is that you can send your private key basically to another hardware wallet. So you don't have to send the token basically. So if you have your hardware, and then it generates like a private key, and then you can send like any cryptocurrency to this wallet. But then you don't send the content of the wallet to another address, but you send the private key. I guess this is the base of this. They are able to enforce that the private key is only existing on one place, basically. That's what I understand somehow. So you can send it over the internet, you send the private key encrypted somehow, and then it ends up on the other box. So you shift the ownership from one box to the other box, I guess, as I understand.
Does it send the private key, or does it just sort of transmit the signed transaction? I don't actually know the answer there, but I would assume it sends like the signed transaction. I have a Lattice. They're really cool. If anyone is like looking for a new wallet, it's pretty sweet.
So I didn't hear that. I think they send they can make sure that the private key, you can read it and it's somehow wrapped, and then they send it over the internet, and then it ends up on another box. Basically, that's how I understand. This is somehow awesome, because this
Well-
means if this really works, you can transact. You don't have to transact it basically because you send the ownership of your wallet to another person basically.
Yeah, and one of the challenges I think you've uncovered is it's definitely it's a project that is built by like long-term crypto OGs, and the engineers behind it are just brilliant. And I think like one of the challenges we've been trying to think through is some of the folks on the team. I used to work with a few of them at Consensus, and then one of them, Justin LaRue, is a good friend of mine. So yeah, we've been trying to figure out like what's the story there that more of the market can understand and take advantage of it. Because like one of the challenges with the Lattice One wallet, or the wallet crypto, I guess that's the right way to say it, is that it's not as inexpensive as like a ledger. So it's still, in my opinion, I think it's the best hardware wallet out there, but it's a little more expensive. And so like a few $100s is, it's I don't know what they're selling for now, but they were selling for like $200 or $300 before. I think similarly with Phonon, it's really powerful because it's like it's private, fast, free payments. Question is like, how do we get this into more people's hands if they're going to need a hardware wallet versus like, I think some of the shortcuts we take to not having a hardware wallet, which could be like a free application that doesn't cost you any money. So yeah, it's a really interesting project. I actually should do. I think I've done a shit job here of explaining it, but maybe it's something I can present on in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I just did see that you've been some kind of advisor. It's called, not advisor, it's called different. It's called.
Yeah, I'm on the multi-sig. So
Okay.
they've really just been like getting started here. But yeah, there's a few. If anyone sees this, whoever held the Grid Plus token, you should check it out. I'm pretty confident that there's. I'm hopeful. I believe everybody already exchanged their tokens, but if they haven't, this project is a continuation of efforts through the Grid Plus team.
Yeah. Thank you. That's. I think it's a nice concept. Of course, it's not so easy because it involves hardware and it's much more difficult to build hardware, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and also secure
different.
payments is like it's something that everybody doesn't want until they absolutely need it. So like obviously with what's gone on recently, whether you're in Ukraine or Russia, there's folks that aren't going to have access to that suddenly are being cut out of like legacy payment systems, and so this becomes that much more important. I know a lot of friends that have moved out of Ukraine, and or fled from Ukraine, and I mean, thankfully they have crypto, so like they're able to cross borders without worrying about it. But just all sorts of sort of dire situations are definitely coming up, and yeah, it's no time better than today to prove why we need digital finance infrastructure. But
Yes.
One quick update on UST. So I think we talked a little while ago about, there were worries about the reserve running out. So that got replenished with, I think, 500 million. And since then, so Anchor itself is going to be making some upgrades. They've increased the loan to value borrowing ratio for B-Luna. They're going to be adding some other collaterals. There's just been a lot of like really healthy updates. I think like Anchor and Luna like went through a pretty healthy correction here over the last few weeks, but and I'm not a seed investor in Anchor or Luna, but I do hold Luna now, and I use Anchor regularly, and so I think it's in a much healthier place. I'm not concerned like I was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Hassan, have you been? I know you've been following it really closely too. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, our activist team obviously put a proposal together with Polychain that's kind of just trying to give Anchor a little more utility and incentivize depositors to actually have skin in the game via holding Anchor, so they can't just, extract value from the protocol without also, holding some Anchor. So I think that obviously is helping. And ultimately, like, we think if you're getting the benefit of 20% interest, you should also have to have some skin in the game. So that's what we're doing.
Dude, that's awesome. I didn't realize you guys put that forward. Yeah, like
me,
you should be able to earn 20% unless you're, I've earned Anchor the token because I was getting that as someone who was borrowing UST against B Luna and B ETH, but I have become engaged with Anchor more, as time has gone on. It went from just a random sort of farm to me to like, wow, this is a really innovative protocol. Like I can see why people got interested in it. So yeah, it's insane that like those dollars that are being used to the UST that's used to subsidize at times when like the proof of stake rewards aren't enough. Yeah, I don't see why we would subsidize someone who's just like who has no skin in the game with Anchor. So
yeah, I think we had a lot of discussions. I just posted our proposal in the chat for anyone that cares. But basically, like, Terraform Labs is super defensive about keeping that rate. They know it's not a market rate. They know it's way above, and they know it's also incentivized by like Doe, right? Just like converting a bunch of his Luna to UST to like refill the yield reserve. I think they're still in growth mode with UST, and they want to keep it at 20%. So this is just a way to kind of make sure it can get to 20% and get everyone kind of like aligned in terms of interests. So we'll see if it passes, but yeah, I mean, obviously the protocol has a lot of TVL. So
yeah. Definitely the greatest like growth hacking campaign of DeFi Web3.
When you have infinite money, sir, you can growth hack a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, also bless our friends at Jump Capital. Oh my God, I'm not as involved in Solana, but I was like sick to my stomach seeing that exploit with Wormhole, and I don't fully understand what deal must have been cut, because that couldn't have been just a charitable donation to like protect their soul bags. Anyways, that's another one.
Bro, I disagree. I think it was a cost benefit, and they were like, if we don't do this, billions of dollars are lost versus 250 million.
You know what? Yeah, I absolutely, yeah, I would love to get clarification from their team. I wouldn't be surprised, if that was, because I looked at it too and thought like this is like an existential like threat to the future of DeFi there, and then it got resolved within what was it, like 12 hours or something? They had like
really quick. The Jump guys did they did a podcast about some of their thinking. If you're interested.
Oh, they did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like I think it's Jump's podcast. I can DM it to you if I find it here.
Yeah. Great.
But yeah, I mean, what Hassan says is right. It's like either you nuke out like billions of dollars in like protocol value, or you plug the hole. And I think they had reserves ready for something like that.
Yeah.
It's also like, I mean, if you think about Jump's investment in Solana and Luna and that kind of thing, like it's a lot more than the whole they plug. So it's kind of like beefing up their investments on those sides as well.
Well, it's also great, like, again, that clearly it was done with the intent to, like, just as you framed it, that's how that makes the most sense. I also acknowledge the fact, like, since then, I already had great interactions with Jump. Like, I have a lot of respect for them, for all the work they've done in the space. They're good partners to founders. But when they did that, I was like, well, good Lord. I mean, now if you're a founder building, especially on Solana, like you gotta like think of Jump like immediately. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
say
I mean,
that too
and people do on the Solana side for sure. Maybe like people more focused on like the Ethereum side of things, maybe don't recognize Jump as much, but they're pretty heavily involved and
no,
really
they're everywhere
massive
now.
on Solana.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're in a lot of. I can't say, but there's a few rounds of teams that I've backed as an angel and through 4RC. And I'm really excited they joined some upcoming Series A's. So yeah, no.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
anyone
exactly.
from Jump hears this, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to them. So
I need a $250 million donation.
Yeah, but on the higher level, what's very it's interesting is that what we did see that now they're like projects or it's also a shift. And I personally, I don't like it so much because what you see is that they're like chains they're chains who are like private owned basically, because they have the ability to like a central bank to step in and make a bailout. That's what they did. And other chains are not able to do this, in a way. Ethereum did it with the DAO back then, they did like not a bailout, but they did solve a big problem basically. And on the open finance side, if something like this happens, there's nobody is taking this amount of money into this hand and fixing it basically. So this means we have like, it's like we have a big too big to fail has arrived in crypto basically. And it's not, of course, it's nice that they did it and stepped in and solved all the problems they generated or the fallout of this hack. But at the end, it's also, I guess it's a big shift basically, because it changes the things.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
very rational move on their part, definitely. But yeah, if so UST anchor rate is looking healthy again, and then if for any reason, if I would encourage anyone to get a Terra wallet started if you want to try that, but otherwise I've presented before on it. Orion Money continues to pay 15% instead of 19.5 if you're on BSC, Polygon, Ethereum, or I think Avalanche as well. So yeah, lots of good stuff. Oh, and a bunch of borrowing protocols too have just launched on Terra. So check out Edge, check out Mars. I don't have money in any of these either. These are just as a user, I just really like using them on Terra. So
okay. Yeah, I'm going to close the call. We hit the hour, and we have been talking about the rare stuff and see the presentation of Ruby. Ruby left already. Yeah. And so thank you for joining. And next week we will have the candidates round. And yeah, thank you very much. So see you next
thanks,
week.
Martin. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, DeFi. Thank you, everybody.
DeFi Dad.
Bye.
Guys.
Bye. DeFi Dad, are you still here? He didn't see my message.
Probably you should sync up with the DeFi Dad on the talk tomorrow, Martin.
Yeah, I asked him on Discord if he can stay after, but he just left. He didn't read it. He just got up and he didn't read his Discord stuff.
Right. So should we talk about this briefly? Maybe we should turn off.
Yeah. We should.
Let's turn off the live stream.
Yeah, we should. So I
maybe
think
maybe let's talk in Discord quickly.
we are still recording. Or?
Yeah, let's talk in Discord quickly. Okay.
Okay.